Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the final round of the third season of the East Coast Formula One Championship. Today, we are here at the brand new Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And we have a new champion in the ranks today. After this long, hard-fought season, we have crowned the AlphaTauri driver, Hemi, for the new drivers' champion. Congratulations to Hemi and AlphaTauri for getting the drivers' championship secured. Headed into the final race here. The Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs. AlphaTauri currently leading, and Alpine needs to outscore AlphaTauri today by 31 points to snag the championship. So it is a tall order, but mathematically they are still in it. So without further ado, let's get into qualifying. It looks like we had an AlphaTauri first out on track. Who is that going to be? That is Hemi's teammate, Unholy Red Eye, first out on track. This circuit, for anyone that has not seen the race that happened a couple weeks ago, it's a very tight circuit. There's not a whole lot of runoff areas in particular spots, and it is a very high-speed circuit. There's quite a few turns, the most on the calendar, but they're pretty flowy, so to speak. So we're going to see some good action, as we did in the real race, as Unholy Red Eye comes around the final corner into the first DRS section across the line, and he will be on a hot lap on the medium tires as he comes into turn one. Nails it quite well. That is a tricky one, which we're going to see a lot of chaos in the opening laps here. We'll hop on board the AlphaTauri. It's a very fun track to drive if you can get the turns down. As you see, he goes wide there. Luckily, doesn't invalidate. He'll lose probably a little bit of time, but nothing too serious. Ooh, gets a little loose in the back end there. Medium tires having a difficult time sticking on the track. But as always, it comes down to tire strategy, so we'll see as we get closer to the end of qualifying just what the teams are trying to do. Pretty good mix of mediums and softs so far. And Holy Red Eye's got a pretty good lap going here as he comes into the final high-speed section. Looks like we got a slow-moving Mercedes in the second sector. And Holy Red Eye coming around the final corner where Max Verstappen had a bit of a tank slapper and wrecked his car in qualifying earlier this week. 131.305 is the time to beat. We got a McLaren coming out as GSR Edgar. 129.016, a big jump on Unholy Red Eye. We got a Mercedes coming around as GSR Rompanola. 128.133, nearly a second quicker than the McLaren. These times are ramping up rather quickly here. Stewart with a 129.5, good enough for provisional P3. The Yuppie with a 129.994. He'll be looking for a little bit of time in his next hot lap here, but a provisional P4 is a good showing for the Alfa Romeo. Silent Banshee in the Haas, 131.1 on the mediums, 2/10 ahead of the AlphaTauri. Labatt's must have had a bit of an issue, or maybe taken an extra lap to warm up those softs. 147.3, and it looks like he's on a flyer, absolutely flinging that Mercedes around the track. Yuppie's teammate S. Smith with a 129.917, 0.08 of a second quicker than his teammate. So not a large gap, but a gap nonetheless. Evil Prime just about to start his next hot lap. He's followed closely by an Alpine and a Williams. That's Hash coming across the line. P2, 128.657. 5/10 off of the pole position set by the Mercedes. Looks like the McLaren is on an in-lap, slowing down just before the final corner. A lot of traffic coming. He'll want to get out of the way. We got a Williams going. That is Stewart headed into the pits. Well, we got a ton of cars on hot laps right now. We'll ride on board with Cake Thomas in the Williams as he comes into the second sector here. Great job sticking it nice and close to the wall. That corner, the exit there is definitely difficult on the rear tires, and they have a tendency to slip. So we may see some car damage on the exit of that corner. Setting a good purple second sector, which I believe is his own purple sector. Doing a good job in the Williams today. He's trying to get a bit of a tow from the Ferrari ahead, but I don't know if he's quite close enough. Might be in a little bit of dirty air. Nice wide exit using all of the track. Gets that wing open, coming across the line. Cake Thomas in the Williams will go P3 with a 128.796. 6.5 off of pole. You can see an Alpine coming around. Looks like he's headed into the pits. Hemi is on a hot lap now. Followed closely by Mo Powa, trying to get a bit of a tow off the AlphaTauri. We're hanging out with Evil Prime as he comes into the long left-hander. Another corner that's easy. It is banked, but it is easy to run wide there, and that wall closes in on you in a hurry. Coming in through the series of left and rights, a heavy brake. Oh, and he hits the wall. Doesn't invalidate, but I imagine the Ferrari has got some front wing damage. So that'll definitely hurt his lap, but he's still moving, so we'll see just how well he does on this lap here. Alright, Evil Prime, 130.184. We know he's got some more time. Potentially, after losing probably a few tenths, potentially to that wall hit. But a good lap nonetheless. Labatt's just out on another outlap. Brand new set of soft tires, looking to move himself up out of P12. And I missed who just came across the line. My apologies. Hightower, the 129.989, good enough for P9. A couple spots ahead of his teammate. You can see a Ferrari coming around the final corner down the pit straight. And Ryan Rods is diving into the pits. Unfortunately, it looks like he invalidated. So he's going to head back into the Ferrari garage and get some new tires and some fuel. LFR Psycho going through the long left-hander, taking a nice wide exit. He's moving pretty good by the looks of it in the Red Bull. Passes a slow Haas there. Hop on board the RB car. Going a little wide, doesn't invalidate luckily as he heads into the DRS zone. Great work by the Red Bull driver. Coming into the final turn, GSR Edgar bumps himself up into pole position with a 127.759. I missed that he was on a hot lap. McLaren sitting on provisional pole, about 4 tenths ahead of P2. The Red Bull of LFR Seiko comes across the line with a 131.663, good enough for P14 for the time being. Just under 7.5 minutes left to qualifying. You can see a Mercedes coming around the final corner. That we got Labatt's looking to improve that time from a 147.3 P15 to P9 with a 129.651. A great lap from the Mercedes. It's a good spot to be in. As you can see, throughout a few of these laps, there is not a whole ton of room for cars to move out of the way on this track. It is narrow, and with the way the corners are designed, they're essentially all blind corners. There's no way to really see cars ahead of you, so it is difficult. Makes it interesting viewership and driving as well. So we'll see. Looks like Silent Banshee is on another hot lap here. He's currently sitting in P13. Does a great job through that section there, into the next DRS zone, gets that wing open. Trying to propel the Haas higher up the grid. Coming into the final corner, that was the spot that we saw the controversial hit between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in the championship battle. P13 to P9 with a 129.584. Great lap from Silent Banshee. Looks like we got a Ferrari just starting his hot lap here. On the softs. Only one driver currently qualifying on the mediums. That is your Season 3 Drivers' Champion Hemi in the AlphaTauri, and unfortunately GSR invalidates, so he'll need to take another trip around the track, and so did the Aston Martin of Detail, unfortunately. His teammate Jay Kelly also on a hot lap, not too far behind him. Trying to get a tow there as he passes his teammate, and a Haas headed into the long left-hander. The Aston Martin is looking quick around the brand new Jeddah circuit. Great work by Jay Kelly so far. We'll hop on the onboard cam. Passing another slow-moving car. Great job through there. Gets that wing open. Headed down the long, sweeping left. Headed into the braking zone. One more corner to come across the line. What is Jay Kelly gonna do? P10 for the Aston Martin, 129.624. His teammate Detail needing to take another lap around the track. Mo Powa yet to set a time. Invalidated this lap, and he is going to continue. We currently have, as soon as the yellow flag moves out of the screen, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to qualifying here. So enough time for drivers to get another lap or two in at best to see if they can't improve their starting position. GSR Edgar currently on an outlap, looking to maybe improve and secure his pole position time a little bit more. 127.759 is the time to beat currently. hop on board the McLaren as he heads through the twisty section here. Keeping it nice and close to the wall. Nails that perfectly. If a driver can do that, you can definitely shave a little bit of time off, but you can also ruin a lap or a race by keeping it nice and close to the wall. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least, to see how the race unfolds today. Mo Powa coming across the line, P16 with a 1:30.108. Pretty close times here throughout the grid. Only 4 seconds separating P1 through P17 so far. Looks like Detail hopped back in the pits looking to get a brand new set of tires and some extra fuel. A few drivers out on hot laps at the moment. Oh, unfortunately, Detail retired. Maybe he didn't have enough time to get back around the track and get a lap in, unfortunately, so he'll be starting near the back of the pack. Majorly unfortunate for Aston Martin. The two Williams are sitting in P6 and 7, separated by 1/10 of a second. Craig Thomas and Stewart. Stewart retired in the pits. Not in the pits. Stewart retired on the track. It looks like he... oh, yeah, he spun. But the car is still working, and that completely ruined Ryan Rodds' hot lap, I think. He'll at least be able to set a time, but I don't know if that slowed him up a bit, having that Williams right in the center of the track. He's cruising up quick on a Haas. A couple cars coming across the line. We'll see if the leaderboard changes. GSR in the Ferrari with a 128.411, good enough for a provisional P4. The Yuppie moves up into P9. Silent Banshee retires in the pits. And it looks like a Red Bull LFR Psycho came across the line, and that'll do it for qualifying. We do still have a few cars on hot laps. It's hard to say who's all pushing. I believe the Mercedes is. So let's hang out with GSR Rompanola for the time being as he heads into the first DRS zone. It's 1.2 seconds down on his time. We got a spun Alfa Romeo. That's Yuppie, unfortunately, in the wall. So that ruined his next attempt at a hot lap. So that'll do it for him. 1.6 seconds down on his time. So GSR is not going to secure pole. Hash steals it at the just under the wire. 127. Oh, and Hemi 127.643. Just as I was trying to give props to Hash on an exceptional lap, Hemi beats him by 0.03 of a second. Showing why he is, or one of the reasons why he is the driver's champion here for the 3rd season. Craig Thomas looks like he ran out of fuel, unfortunately, in the Williams. Trying to keep it light. Yuppie heads into the pits. So just wait for a few more drivers to retire. as they pull the cars into their garages. Looks like Ryan Rods has the bit of a glitch that's been known to happen the last little bit here, giving him extra time to be in qualifying. And he retired as the Ferrari pulls off track. So that was an exciting qualifying here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and Hemi takes pole position in the AlphaTauri with a 127.643, and followed closely by Hash with a 127.6. On the second row, we have GSR Edgar and GSR Rompanola. On the third row, GSR Ryan Rods and Cake Thomas. P7 Smith Pell, P8 SZS Smith, P9 Stewart, rounding out the top 10 is Yuppie in the Alfa Romeo. Evil Prime in P11, 12th Labatt's, followed by Silent Banshee, Jay Kelly, Hightower, Unholy Red Eye, Mo Powa, LFR Psycho, and Detail, unfortunately, failing to set a time, rounding out the grid. Now, as I said earlier, AlphaTauri currently leading the Constructors' Championship with a 30-point gap to P2, which is Alpine. As night falls on the circuit, it looks like Hash, and I don't recall... Oh, we've only got one driver for Alpine, which means, unfortunately, I can call it early. AlphaTauri is your Constructors' champion team for the third season here in the East Coast Formula One Championship. I thought we were going to be having a potential battle, but with only one driver, it is impossible, unfortunately, for him to score more than 30 points. Just waiting for the drivers to get their final setups tuned in and get their fuel setups, tire setups, etc. So once again, join me in congratulating AlphaTauri on an excellent season. Unholy Red Eye and Hemi. Fantastic for them. We'll check in actually with the Division 2 standings just to give you guys an update on the other group of drivers. It looks like Monkey Mafia is your drivers' champion for the Division 2 series. Driving for McLaren, had an excellent gap of 50 points to the second place Aston Martin of LFR Herald. Looks like they battled quite a bit throughout the season. And the Constructors' Championship in the second division. Looks like it was also clinched by the McLaren team, so congratulations to McLaren as well. Great work by all the drivers in the league. And we're starting the formation lap here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The pit stop strategies predicted by AWS looks to be the one stop, which could definitely be an option. with the amount of straights and stuff. The tires are under a bit of stress for sure, but they do tend to last quite a while. Now it's just a matter of seeing how long the tires can go. The top 10 drivers all starting on the soft compound tire, and all but 2 in the bottom half of the grid starting on the mediums, looking to extend that first stint. Hemi's slowing up, not getting too separated from the pack. Alright, we're about halfway through the lap. The circuit does look phenomenal under the lights, close to the Red Sea. That was an interesting one. I know there was a lot of issues and a lot of controversy in this year's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but it was the first time they raced at the circuit, so I imagine it'll only get better. It's definitely an interesting street circuit, super narrow. Not a whole lot of room for error, especially when the cars are battling, so that definitely keeps it interesting. Alright, the cars are bunching up on the grid, getting to their final spots before lights out. Alright, the cars are set. We have 3 red lights, 4 and 5. And it's lights out and away we go. We're racing here in the final race of the season as Hemi gets a great start as they head down into turn 1. And it looks decently clean so far. Oh no. There was some bumping back there. The Yuppie unfortunately getting spun around. And some contact between himself. There was definitely another car in the mix that hit Yuppie right in the side. Cars are pretty bunched up here. GSR Rompanola looked down the inside of the Ferrari but couldn't quite get the move done. Labatt's getting past Yuppie. Detail getting past LFR Psycho. I don't know. Yeah, Yuppie's missing an end plate. Majorly unfortunate. Silent Banshee gets past Jake Kelly. Jake Kelly gets past the Haas. Soft to medium or soft to hard is the predicted strategy powered by Amazon Web Services. Looks like we got a 3-way battle here in Holy Red Eye trying to get past SZS Smith. Looks down the inside, SZS Smith not having it. And Holy Red Eye going around the outside. But the Alfa Romeo just keeps it ahead. Great driving there. Hemi with the fastest lap, 1:33.409. It's only going to get quicker as the track and tires heat up. Unholy Red Eye getting a bit of a slipstream, looking down the inside of Hightower, but he won't, or sorry, SZS Smith, but he won't get there. Silent Banshee and LFR Psycho are in the pits. Labatt's moving up a couple spots. Yuppie heads into the pits for an unscheduled pit stop, unfortunately, with that turn 1 incident. LFR Psycho getting a brand new wing. He may have had contact with Yuppie potentially. The circuit although it is a high-speed one, you do still need a decent amount of downforce. So any sort of damage can definitely hinder the car's ability. Hash collecting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. One too many times, unfortunately. Trying to keep a close battle with Hemi at the front. Craig Thomas gets by Evil Prime. Showing some good pace in the Williams. So we're on lap 2 of 25 here, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As the cars cross the line here shortly, we will have DRS available for any cars within 1 second of the car ahead. We've got a pretty good train headed down the pit straight there. A lot of close gaps. Hemi with a 1:31.6 knocks 2 seconds off his previous fastest lap. Looks like Unholy Red Eye was looking down the inside again. Couldn't quite get there. But he takes a good exit. Oh, and he can't quite stick it. That turn 1 is definitely an interesting one. Especially in real life, we saw quite a few moves down the inside, which don't generally pan out, causing the driver to go straight through as Max did. Mo Powa with DRS on the Haas ahead. Closes up that gap ever so slightly. The pair of Aston Martins are currently sitting in P14 and 15. Jay Kelly on the mediums, Detail on the softs. Detail getting a bit of a slipstream off his teammate there. Not a bad position in to have a little bit of team help. If Jay Kelly can stay within DRS range, that will definitely help the Aston Martins out. Alright, we're hanging out with Hemi as he's trying to break the slipstream on Hash. Which way is he going to go? Hemi blocks the inside line. And Hash makes the move on him through turn 1. Great move by the Alpine as GSR Edgar is right on the gearbox. Looks like Ryan Rods is looking to make a move on the McLaren. Craig Thomas and Stewart in a battle here. Another teammate battle. Gonna have a bit of a DRS train. Oh, GSR Ryan Rods collecting a 3-second penalty. That is definitely going to hurt the Ferrari. Oh, Hemi showing some good pace down the inside. Tries to make a move on the Alpine, but can't quite get there. He's going to have the optimal line here, though. Trying a bit of a switchback, and Hemi collects a 3-second penalty. Unfortunately, getting a little too outside the track limits. He's taking it easy there, making sure he doesn't get too outside of where he needs to be. He's going to have DRS on the Alpine here. Is he going to make a pass? He isn't. He's going to play the strategy game and stay within the DRS range and try to make a pass quick here on Hash. Hash using ERS to try and defend. He's burning up his battery quite heavily. Oh, and Hash is sticking with it. Great driving by both of these guys. A fantastic battle here at the front of the pack. Stewart with a 3-second time penalty. Looks like the AlphaTauri got a pretty good move on the exit. Oh, we've got a crash. Stewart in the Williams unfortunately lost it through the first technical section. And they had to retire. We have a full course safety car. Now the predicted pit stop strategies were lap 10, if I recall correctly, for the pit window opening. So the cars with only 4 laps on their tires, the mediums can definitely go longer. Are the soft tire runners going to keep out for a little while, or are they going to pit? So we're going to see that quickly. The Yuppie, unfortunately, with that early pit stop, and Silent Banshee and LFR Psycho, they all had early pit stops, but luckily with the safety car, they will get the chance to get back in with the pack and move up the grid potentially. Alright, looks like Evil Prime decided to stay out and get track position. The medium tire runners, the majority of them staying out. Hash and Hemi. Oh, Hemi gets a 10-second penalty on the pit exit. Oh, majorly unfortunate. We know that that is somewhat of an issue. If the drivers don't manage to stay well with inside the lines of the pit exit. So they only lost a few positions, so that's not too bad. Quite a few drivers came into the pits for a new set of mediums. So I imagine this is going to turn into a 2-stop most likely. So we'll see just kind of what those guys decide to do. The Yuppie decided to stay out. His tires are only 3 laps old, as are LFR Psychos. Silent Banshee went back in for a brand new set of mediums, and they will close up on the back of the pack. So as it stands, Evil Prime in the Ferrari, sitting in first position, deciding to stay out during the safety car. Mo Powa taking over P2, Hightower P3, and Jake Kelly P4. Oh, and it looks like Hash, I didn't see if they actually swapped positions there. But P5 and 6 for Hash and Hemi. Labatt sitting in P7. GSR Edgar P8. 9th place is Ryan Rods in the Ferrari. And P10, GSR Rompanola in the Mercedes. P11, Cake Thomas. P12, Smith Pell. P13, SZS Smith. P14, Unholy Red Eye. 15th is Details. 16th, Yuppie. Followed by LFR Psycho and Silent Banshee in the Haas. So the cars are closing up on each other now. It looks like Yuppie decided to head into the pits. Probably to get a brand new set of medium tires, if I had to guess. The guys are waiting. Yep, brand new set of yellow wall medium tires. So for anybody that doesn't have any familiarities with F1, the coloring on the sidewall of the tires, now let's watch the exit here. See, he stays inside the lines. If the guys get too far on the left-hand side, the game decides to give them a 10-second penalty for cutting corners. A little crazy, but unfortunately there's nothing you can do about it. The coloring on the sidewall of the tires, you can see the bright yellow there. That is the difference in compounds. The yellows are the medium, so it's kind of your best all-around tire for grip level and longevity. SZS Smith is the only guy on a different set of tires. You can see the white lettering on his. Those are the hard compounds. Less sticky, but they will last longer, giving you the ability to stay out and not pit stop. And sometimes that helps as long as you got the pace. SZS Smith is a pretty quick driver, so we'll see how that fares out for him against all the other medium tire drivers. And you can see the earlier on in the race, all those soft compounds, the bright red letters on those tires. Those are the stickiest, give you the best grip levels, but they do wear out the quickest. So strategy is a huge part of Formula One, so it makes a huge difference if you don't select the right tires. Now we're going to head back up to Evil Prime. It looks like the safety car is in this lap, so everybody has got that weave going on as the Aston Martin safety car heads around the final corner and will drive into the pits. We've got a great high up shot here from the crane in the final corner, showing you the beautiful Jeddah Corniche circuit here on the Red Sea, and it looks like Evil Prime got a decent jump out in front of Mo Power, so we're going to see another crazy turn one as they head down into the heavy braking zone. Ash made a move on Hightower. Hemi's looking to make a move on him as well. Oh, there might have been some contact between the AlphaTauri and the Haas, but I can't be certain. So Hightower moved from about P4 down to the back of the grid. It looks like his front wing is intact, but if there's any minor damage, which it appears to be, he's having a hard time getting through those corners. It makes a huge difference on these cars. Hash and Hemi get by Jake Kelly. Ryan Rodds loses a couple positions. GSR Edgar is right on the gearbox of Labatt's, putting the pressure on. Cake Thomas looking to make a move on the Mercedes. GSR goes down the inside. We've got a pair of Mercedes there. McLaren and Mercedes drag racing down the pit straight, trying to catch Jake Kelly. Rompanola's looking about the outside. We got 3 wide going into turn 1. Oh, and they all give space. Great work by those drivers. GSR Rompanola making up 2 spots. Great work, Cake Thomas with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, unfortunately. Oh, no. Cake Thomas almost loses it as he gets back on the circuit, trying to get his positions back. That's quite a few spots, unfortunately, for Ryan Rodds. Smith Pell in the Red Bull looking to get a bit of a slipstream here on the battling Ferrari and Mercedes. That's a great turn there. He's gaining some time on Labatt's. Oh, great shot there from the helicopter. The Red Bull going down the inside. Is he going to get there? He does. Gets there just ahead of the turn. Great move by Smith Pell and Red Bull. Now he's trying to catch the Ferrari. Oh no, and Silent Banshee unfortunately crashed. Just as the other safety car ended, we do have a new one. Labatt's opting for a fresh set of softs and a new front wing. So Hightower unfortunately had a bit of a spin earlier on with that restart, that close racing action. So this will give him another opportunity to close back in on the pack and get some racing in. Evil Prime still in the lead, followed by Mo Powa, Ash, and Hemi. A few different swaps here. Jake Kelly opting for the brand new hards to take him to the end of the race. We haven't seen just how far those tires will go. Evil Prime and Mo Power are on 9-lap-old mediums. So we'll see if that is the distance that these tires can go. If a guy put on a brand new set of mediums, he may be able to get the 15 laps in. that you need to finish the Grand Prix, especially with the slower safety car laps here. We've probably got 2 laps under the safety car left. So the mediums may be the way to go. Quite a few drivers pitted. Evil Prime and Mo Powa opted to stay out, which is pretty interesting. Looks like we got Cake Thomas headed into the pits. SZS Smith is on brand new mediums, Detail brand new mediums, Labatt's brand new softs, Yuppie brand new mediums, and Hightower on brand new softs. Looking to get some serious pace out of the out of the Haas, sorry, not out of the Hightower. So Ferrari currently leading the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here on lap 11. Currently under the safety car after a crash. After a crash from a Haas. Hightower getting a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. So Hash currently with 3 seconds of penalties, Hemi with 13, just due to the corner cutting coming out of the pits. We'll see if the stewards review that after the race. GSR, Ryan Rod's in the Ferrari with 3 seconds. Labatt's in the Mercedes with 3, Cake Thomas with 3, and Hightower also with 3. You better be careful there, he almost retook off that front wing. You wouldn't want to do that under a safety car. Trying to catch up to the pack here. So Evil Prime and Mo Powa gaining 10 and 15 positions just from the safety car. Hopefully staying out for track position does benefit them in the long run. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, it didn't benefit Lewis Hamilton this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. As Hightower cruises back onto the back of the pack. So the grid is bunched up now. This may be the last lap under the safety car, as Evil Prime follows that nice Aston Martin. A new addition for the 2021 season. So definitely an interesting Grand Prix so far. 3 retirements, a Haas, a Red Bull, and a Williams. So in a few corners time, we should know if race control is going to pull the safety car in. So we can get racing again. Evil Prime pushing the safety car driver. And there he goes, lights off. The safety car is in this lap. Evil Prime doesn't want to be too close, because you can't pass the safety car. Gets a good jump on the McLaren. Hemi's looking down the inside. GSR Rampanola makes up a spot and putting the pressure on the Alpine of Hash. Everyone appeared to get through the first corner decently well. Little bit of chaos near the back there. Evil Prime out to a 6/10 lead. Hightower putting the pressure on Detail with those brand new soft tires. Getting a bit of a slipstream down into the long left-hander here. Oh, and the Williams is around and it collected Yuppie in the process. And almost a couple more cars as the Yuppie gets pulled around. I couldn't tell. He's missing an M plate again. Oh, so unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo. And Cake Thomas's car may be okay. It's hard to say. There may be some carbon fiber missing that we can't see. Once again, majorly unfortunate for Yuppie. Very close, but oh, and GSR Rampanola gets into the wall there and heads into the pits. Hash has a look down the inside but won't go. Evil Prime still hanging on to the lead. Hemi and Hash absolutely battling it out. The two leaders in the Constructors' Championship. Hemi collecting another 3-second penalty for trying to get around Hash there. SZS Smith also collecting one. Hemi had a really nice line there. The back end of the Alpine getting a little loose. SZS Smith under a bit of pressure from Labatt's here. Labatt's was taking a look down the inside, but is going to wait until the can get a bit more of a slipstream run here. He's closing that gap quite quickly. Oh, and he couldn't quite get around him. DRS is enabled this lap. Oh, looks like we got a battle at the front here. Oh, and Evil Prime got a little bit loose in the back, so Mo Powell will take over the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on lap 15. Great work to keep the car under control through turn 1 and 2 there by the McLaren. Hash still under pressure. Oh, and Hightower retired. We've got another safety car as GSR Rampanola comes in on the wreckage of the Haas. That car is in a heap, unfortunately. Yep, he passes the safety car. Cake Thomas getting a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That is a massive penalty to take. See, he's on 3-lap-old softs. Definitely thinking it's going to be worth Cake Thomas's time. If I recall, he can still pit under the safety car, but he can't serve the penalty. So it's definitely going to be worth Cake Thomas's time, I think, to head into the pits, which he is, or calling the Williams driver in. Get a brand new set of tires, and then he can serve his his penalty shortly after. The drivers have 3 laps to serve their penalty. So you'll want to do it right away. I have seen it where drivers have decided to not serve their penalty on the first out lap, and a lap or two later get another safety car, which immediately disqualifies them after the fact. So definitely within your best interest to serve it right away. Jay Kelly scoring a 3-second time penalty for himself for exceeding track limits. So Mo Powa finally decided to pit. So he's got some brand new softs to take him to the end of the Grand Prix. We've got 9 laps remaining here in the final race, the season finale. Hash currently leading, followed by GSR Edgar, SZS Smith, and Detail. All on the medium tires there. Hash and Edgar's tires are a little old. They've got to last another 9 laps. So that should be extremely interesting to see how that works out. Labatt's and Jay Kelly messing around here. So we've got quite a few drivers, as you can see, from P5 all the way down to P14, essentially new soft compound tires for a 8-lap shootout here. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Alright, so let's say we're going to have one more lap under the safety car. Cake Thomas went back into the pits for some used softs. And looks like Yuppie had a bit of an issue there on the mediums, but it looks like the Alfa Romeo car is okay. So the lights haven't turned off just quite yet on the safety car. There they go. So we are going to be racing this lap. Alright, looks like Hash is going to lead the pack weight. He gets going right away, trying to get a jump on GSR Edgar. Oh, and then he slows down. GSR Edgar trying to put the pressure on, falling a few tenths back. Cake Thomas heads into the pits. Serving his drive-through, so that is good. Get that out of the way now. Ela Prime with a 3-second time penalty. So quite a few penalties plaguing the grid so far. Mo Powa making up a oh, maybe not. Oh, and Detail spins. Contact between him and the McLaren causes Detail to go around in the long left-hander. So that'll drop him back 10 positions. Majorly unfortunate for the Aston Martin. Mo Powa under pressure from Hemi. As Hemi goes around the outside. Great move by the AlphaTauri. Mo Powa not giving up though. He's sticking in that slipstream, trying to make a move on him. He's going to go down the inside. Hemi blocks. GSR Rampanola gets by Ryan Rods as he heads down looking to get a place on the McLaren. Unholy Red Eye with a 1:30.932, the current fastest lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the new Jeddah Corniche circuit. Hemi's trying to make a move and he gets by S.S. Smith. Mo Powa making it by as well. Oh no, he got some contact. I missed it. I didn't see who that was. S.S. Smith looking to be getting the worst of it though. Looks like his front wing is still intact, unfortunately, but that drops him quite a few positions. Hemi and GSR Edgar in a wheel-to-wheel battle through the second sector. The McLaren coming out on top for now. But the AlphaTauri is looking to get a slipstream. But he won't quite get it done. Gets a really good exit on the McLaren though. As he'll take over P2 and fastest lap with a 1:33.05. The Mercedes of GSR Rampanola trying to chase down Mo Powa. S.S. Smith heading into the pits, unfortunately. Serving a 5-second penalty and getting a brand new set of softs and a front wing. Evil Prime battling out with Unholy Red Eye. Detail with a 3-second time penalty. Cake Thomas with a 3-second time penalty. Unholy Red Eye edges out the Ferrari for P8. Jake Kelly in a battle with Labatt's here. Tries to go the long way around, but can't quite get it done, so he'll save that for the DRS straight here. Gets that wing open and goes around the outside of the Mercedes. Is he going to get it past them? He does. Great move by Jay Kelly. We've got a drag race down the pit straight. GSR Edgar with a 3-second time penalty. There's a lot of swapping. As Mo Powa loses a spot to Ryan Rods. Putting the pressure on the Ferrari, that's for sure. Bit of a DRS train. We're going 3 wide. Rampanola takes the lead as Hemi's closing in on the Alpine. Just gets by Hash. GSR Edgar's looking to make a move on him as well. Trying to get a slipstream, and there isn't enough room. Hash doing a good job of making that Alpine wide, just as Fernando Alonso does. Great work by Hash. A ton of cars with their wings open. Smith Pell currently sitting in P7. Looking to fall in the slipstream here as Hemi makes it by GSR Rampanola, unfortunately, because he did not have DRS. So the other cars have closed in a little bit on him. Edgar and Ryan Rod's wheel to wheel, but the Ferrari comes out ahead. Smith Pell looking to make a move on the McLaren. The Mercedes GSR collecting a 3-second time penalty. Oh, and Cake Thomas loses it. And another car bites the dust. S.S. Smith with the fastest lap, 1:33.08, I believe that was. Yellow sector 1, but with only 3 laps remaining. No safety car. So Hemi jumps out to a 1.3 second lead. Smith, Pell, and Yuppie, the only 2 drivers without penalties, knock on wood. Hemi with a 1:29.521, the current fastest lap. The Ferrari at GSR, oh, never mind, Hash takes it right back. And blocks him. Oh, commentator's curse. I just gave Smith Pell a 3-second time penalty. My apologies. Hash collects another 3 seconds running him wide there, as you can see from the onboard of the Ferrari. The 2 McLarens are battling each other in P5 and 6. Smith Pell is just hanging back, hoping that they mess each other up. P8, Evil Prime. P9, Jake Kelly. P10, Labatt's in the Mercedes. P11 on Holy Red Eye. Yuppie, P12, Detail, P13, and 14th is S.S. Smith. My mic was muted. GSR losing a spot to Mo Powa. Oh, and the Alpine is spun as Hash runs into the wall and knocks his end plate off. Oh, never mind, he didn't. It's okay. But loses a bunch of positions in the process. Hemi with a 4-second lead on the Mercedes of Rampanola. Evil Prime making up a spot on his teammate. But then he will have DRS here. as he tries to catch his teammate. GSR Edgar is going to get a position here on Mo Powa for a podium potentially. Little wheel-to-wheel action between Jay Kelly and Unholy Red Eye. Neither driver wants to give up their spot. Oh no! And Unholy Red Eye loses it. That'll be the end of his lap, unfortunately. Majorly unfortunate for the other AlphaTauri. Luckily, he'll be able to celebrate with the Constructors' Trophy. Hemi out to a nearly 7-second lead. Which he's potentially... Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the glitch is well known, but I don't know exactly how the stewards are going to handle this one. As Hemi crosses the line with a 1:29.429, fastest lap to seal the third season win. As Mo Powa comes across the line with the win, followed by GSR Rompanola, Ryan Rods in P4, P5, Edgar, and Hash coming across the line in spectacular fashion. Jay Kelly, Evil Prime, Yuppie in P9, P10, Smith Pell, P11, Detail, Unholy Red Eye coming across in P12, sorry, Labatt's P13, and last but not least, the Alfa Romeo of SZS Smith. Your Driver of the Day award goes to Mo Powa in the McLaren. What a great drive from every person on the grid this season. You get a new game, you get a new game. As the McLaren driver holds up the trophy from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It was an action-packed one, to say the least. Mo Powa taking the win for McLaren, followed by GSR Rompanola and Hemi. Hemi collecting the fastest lap. P4 Ryan Rods, P5 GSR Edgar, P6 Jake Kelly in the Aston Martin, P7 Evil Prime, 8th goes to Hash, 9th Alfa Romeo of Yuppie, and P10 is Smith Pell in the Red Bull. P11 goes to Detail, 13th Unholy Red Eye in the AlphaTauri after that late crash into the wall, unfortunately. Labatt's P13, and SZS Smith rounding out the finishers in P14. We have a few DNFs in Cake Thomas, Hightower, Silent Banshee, LFR Psycho, and Stewart. So I'll see if I can get these guys in here.
That was a...
Yeah, it most definitely was. So,
I can't wait to go back and watch from your point of view.
yeah, it was a definitely an interesting one to say the least. I didn't catch all the action, but I got a decent amount of it. Um, Congratulations on the win. That's exciting to be on the top step in the final race of the season. That's for sure. Um,
Especially,
give it,
especially after the season I had, man. Holy shit.
yeah, you you
I'm sorry
persevered.
for cursing.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, give
I'm
us a bit of a breakdown.
well for the season.
Uh, Might as well talk about both.
Well, for the season, from day one, I started running no assist, just running the line, and that's really what killed me all season. And then this race, I don't know. It was I didn't really feel like coming in. I had the pace with that quali lap, but I persevered, and hey, them penalties help. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they
But
most definitely do.
the fact that I was able to stick with them though was just incredible. And I mean, we had amazing battles from. I think at one point it was like first through like seventh, all in just under a blanket.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely.
Hey,
There was definitely a train happening there.
for everybody that says Jeddah ain't a racing circuit, they need to go back and look at that.
Yeah, there's definitely some battles to be had. I mean, it keeps it closer. Essentially, is the only thing. I mean, the margin for error is significantly smaller versus other circuits, and I mean, it makes for some great battles. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Uh, I'm gonna have to like figure out some way to like clip that just last, I don't know, 10 laps or whatever after that safety car, because it was a battle all the way from the end of the safety car until then. I'm gonna have to go clip my point of view, and I'll post it in ECF1, man. I'll post it anywhere.
Most definitely, it'll be worth a watch. That's for sure. But congratulations on the win. Definitely a great way to go out for the season. Um,
It's definitely a stepping stone the next.
Yeah, most definitely. It, like you said, not having your assists and stuff, I imagine makes it a lot more fun, a lot
Oh
more
yeah,
challenging, so to speak. So
it was great. I can't wait for next season now, man.
definitely, congrats again, and we'll see you next season.
Yes, sir.
That was a McLaren driver, Mo Powa, with the win here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And we are also joined by the second place driver, GSR Rompanola. Congratulations on P2. Give us a bit of a breakdown of your race.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
My fault. I had a very interesting qualifier where I tried to make a better lap with the tires I had already placed my fastest lap with. So I started with some really old tires. They were at like 20%. So I raced this one in the Midwest, and it was all about just being consistent and just not messing up your wing and just looking out for other drivers. So that was just basically my whole plan. I spun, and then I went into the pits hoping for a safety car just to catch up, and that's exactly what happened. And it was just stay consistent and not committing too much penalty.
Yeah, that definitely is a big part of the of this circuit for sure. Like you said, just keeping it clean and trying to avoid any other carnage that may happen, which we definitely viewed some of that this race for sure. A few drivers being collected by each other, so.
Yeah, it was a good one though. It was really fun, really intense, and a nice way to finish off the season.
Yeah, no doubt. A podium is a great way to finish it off. So congratulations again. Great race.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you returning next season?
I don't know, cause
Not sure the
I came
signing
in
is.
as yeah. Labatt's hit me up in the middle of the season, so I only raced like 5 races maybe. So
That's fair.
No
Well,
mean to chirp in, but that's why I held that newcomers race. That way, in Jeep, I wish you would have commentated instead of me, because I was absolute crap. I'm pretty sure you would have done like 10 times better. But it showed the team owners, because they'll go back and watch it. It showed
yeah.
like, you know, and I mean the 5 races you did, I'm pretty sure you'll get signed, man, because you've been consistently up front, so.
Well, let's hope so, just to have something to do on Wednesday nights.
there you go. Well, the driver
Hey,
signing period
and-
is coming up soon, so
All
And
right.
hell of a battle there at the end, man. That was intense and that was fun.
Yeah, it was really
Um,
fun. I have a few clips I wanna just like put like public so everyone can see, because it was really fun.
Oh, I'm talking about like just streaming, or not streaming, but clipping from the end of the safety car all the way to the end of the race. I mean,
Yeah,
it
those
was a
final 8
constant-
laps. Yeah.
It was just a constant battle to the end. I mean, I would love to see other points of view of it too.
I was kind of hoping you'd stay 3 seconds behind, but I had no ERS to pull away, so.
Well, I was hoping Edgar wouldn't. He kept battling me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like stop, like we're teammates. Let me win.
Well, we
hey,
gotta see what
hey.
Hemi's penalties are, because he had way too many, so.
Yeah, he had 6. I'm pretty sure like 10 of them came from pit road.
Yeah.
But
they
I
did
think
for
I was
sure.
still. I think I was still within the zone though. If not, I still get second. I mean, I only had the 3 seconds.
I'm fine with whatever. I had 3 seconds that I avoided someone that went off track, and it gave me 3 seconds. I'm not sure if I can fight that, but.
Did you have any warnings before that? Did you do
Like
did you clip
one.
the-
I clipped the whole race, yeah.
But
So-
did you get the director?
The director?
The race director? If you got the race director, you can definitely bring that up to Labatt's, and he can
Yeah,
post it
I'll
for you.
talk to Labatt's because he's my teammate. So
Yeah.
I'll send him the videos and see if there's anything I can do about it.
Yeah, I'm one of the stewards, so.
Alright.
Yeah, as long as you got like the director and you can prove where you went off and
Yeah.
it gave you the 3 seconds, then you should be in the clear.
Alright. I'm not gonna die if nothing happens. It's not like I'm fighting for a championship, so.
I wasn't either, man. I was just look. It was the last race of the season, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going out there with a bang at least.
Yeah, at least.
And like I said, this was my first full season with no assist. The only one I ran was the line. Before that, I had medium traction control and ABS. And
the only
mean,
one I have is ABS.
So I don't feel like I did too bad tonight.
Yeah.
Which in Midwest, I clinched D4 championship at the same track because I got another one. So this is
Well, if you're in D4 for the Midwest, we'll be racing each other then.
oh, hey, bet, because I didn't take the promotion because I didn't feel like I deserved it.
I got you.
So
Well,
sorry, Jeep.
well,
Y'all have a good one. Good
certainly
night.
congrats
and
again to both you guys, and look forward to seeing you next season.
I appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Y'all
It
have a
was
good
fun.
one.
Thanks for joining.
too.
Bye.
All right, that was your P1 and P2 drivers here in the final race of the third season of the East Coast Formula One Championship. We'll have a small off period, about a week or two, while we get some new drivers signed to their team. So you could see a bit of a switch up here in the coming weeks as we start the new season. So watch out for that. So yeah, we will return in a few weeks' time, same place. Thanks for joining. This is the East Coast Formula One Championship signing off.